is me. Let's make a mess and call it magic.
Hi everybody and welcome to World Down Syndrome Day collaboration. I am going to be making a keychain today. So I'm starting with some polymer clay here. I rolled it out on my pasta machine, maybe a little bit too thin, as you'll see in a moment. But I'm going to cut out a little strip here so I can make the ribbon that everybody wears that's blue and yellow for Down syndrome awareness. Excuse me, stumbling. And I'm just gonna try and get this little teeny thin. Oh, it's so thin. Why did I roll it so thin? No, the reason I rolled it so thin is because I'm putting it in a keychain, and I was afraid if I got too thick with it, it would be too high, and I wouldn't be able to get everything all up in there. So, yep, see, so thin, I ripped it, and I was going to try again, but no, forget it. Let's start over. So we grab another piece, and I'm being very, very, very careful. Do not do this. This is so sharp. This thing is like lethal sharp. But I'm going to smartly make sure that's flat. And then I'm going to grab this guy off of the blade. And let's try this again. For some reason, I don't know what was wrong with my brain while I was trying to do this, but I couldn't remember how to do a ribbon. Everybody knows how to put a ribbon on a pin to be able to put it on their jacket or whatever, but for some reason, my brain eye-hand coordination was not cooperating in this moment. So, alright, let's try it again. So we're going to take this again, and we're going to cut it again. But I do get there. I promise. My husband thought it'd be funny to leave the struggle in. And I guess he's right. It's kind of funny. But I'm going to keep saving all of these little bitty pieces because I don't want to roll it out again if I mess up. So I'm going to keep trying. Alright, this time I smartly grab a dowel to at least keep the top of the ribbon open while it bakes, because I forget it's not a real ribbon. It's polymer clay. It has to bake or it's just going to squish together and stick together, because that's what it's supposed to do. But, alright, just stop. So I sat back, thought about it again, played with an actual piece of ribbon. Oh, no, I didn't. I actually ripped a piece of my paper off. See the little curl of paper up there? But I think I got it. Did I get it? Whew. That was hard. But I'm going to try it one more time. Just to, have a backup if I need one. Or maybe I can get it better one more time. So I'm going to try again. Try and pick this thin piece up without squishing it. Without getting my nails to mark it. Oh, so many things. And then it looks terrible. So, alright. Well, we've got this one last piece. I have one more shot, or I'm going to have to start completely over. So, alright, hold your breath, everybody. Let's see if we can do it. Is this the time? Oh, okay, hurry. Don't squish. I think I got it. Oh, hallelujah. I did get it. So now I'm just going to cut the little ribbon ends before I throw this in my oven. Well, I hope everybody's having a good day, and I hope you're enjoying this wonderful Saturday that this is going up. I hope the weather is better for everybody. It's gotten better here. We actually had our windows open yesterday, which was awesome. I don't know about you, but I am ready for spring. For some reason, this winter seemed to go on and on, just like this video is. But I got there. I got it. I got it with the ends all done. And so now I'm going to grab my clay for my socks, because I'm going to cut out 3 socks for this project. I will explain a little bit more about why they're socks and what they're for when we get along down the line. But for now, we'll just watch me struggle with this teeny tiny little piece of paper. But now I'm going to cut it out. It's been a long time since I've worked with polymer clay, and I truly thought when I started to get back into this that it would just come back like riding a bike. No, it didn't. Sculpting now is a lot different than it was 10 years ago. Eyesight's different, hand-eye coordination is different. It's all different. But I'm still enjoying doing it, so I'm going to continue to do it. So now I'm going to cut this little footy part off. I'm trying to make sure I save the clay because I have 2 more socks to cut out after this. And trying to get close so I can see it. And then I went, oh my god, I just remembered. This is called a tissue blade for a reason. It bends, it moves, it curves. It's super sharp, sharper than my craft blade is. I really need to change that. But, you know, always forget. But unfortunately, the curve does not get in here the way I want it to. But that's what fingers are for, and tools and all of that stuff. And we're going to cut the rest of this guy out and smooth it, and then cut 2 more, which I will not make you watch me do, because that one was painful enough for me, and I'm the one that did it. But we're going to get these little guys in the oven and out of the oven and paint them. And I am using the Jacquard paint that I got from my Not Another Crap kit from Nerdy Crafter. And these 3 are actually pearlescent. I've got a pink, an emerald, and I believe violet is the names of them. I couldn't read it because I'm, you know, still learning about holding things up to the camera. And then I remembered, get your little sharp pointy thing here so you can actually hold onto this without completely painting your hand and your fingernails, which of course I still managed to do because it's paint, and paint doesn't belong on your project, it belongs on your hands. Or so my paint thinks anyway. So I'm gonna now paint the next one in emerald, and I am Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm painting the next one. Sorry, my brain decided to take a pause when I knew it shouldn't be, because I'm supposed to be sitting here doing this voiceover, not pausing and trying to figure out what I'm doing on screen. I know what I'm doing on screen. I was there in real time for every single paint stroke, which this required several. I did several coats of each of these colors because they're wonderful paint, but they require several colors. And I decided to lighten up the violet a little bit. It just seemed too dark for this project. I wanted bright and happy colors for this. That's the whole point of this, is to have mismatched, crazy colored socks. So that's what I was trying to do, is get all of these to be just bright, colorful, cheerful is what I was going for. And, well, oh, I guess I do make you sit through another coat. But it's so pretty. These paints are amazing. I had never used them before I got Jackie's kit, and now I see why, certain supplies are more expensive, because they are so good. You can actually see, this is why I moved my water pot. You can see the pearlescent shimmering in the water. So now I'm gonna just get these finished up and all dried. And now I'm gonna talk about our collaboration. Allison from Stressful Mum Paints, Stressful Mum Paints, did this collaboration for her son, Ben. And it's done on March 21st, because it's 3 chromosomes on the 21st strand, I believe is what it is. And so they use that as one of their symbols to show just how wonderful people with Down syndrome is. And also the mismatched socks just show how wonderful and unique every single person, Down syndrome or not, is, really. But it's a wonderful symbolism, and Allison wanted to make sure to share her son and share his story and talk about his friends and get this out here. And when I found out, I definitely wanted to do it, because kids with Down syndrome especially hold a special place in my heart. I had a very good friend when I was growing up. She was my 2 doors down neighbor, and she had Down syndrome. She was probably about 10 years older than me. I was 10 at the time when I met her, and she was probably about 20, but people with Down syndrome tend to be a little bit more childlike, so she and I would run around our neighborhood playing and riding bikes, and she would come over and have dinner with us all the time, and I just absolutely adored her. I thought she was just the most fun, and I was so sad when they moved away, and unfortunately we lost touch, and I never really got to talk to her anymore. So this isn't just for Ben and his friends, but this is also for Tammy, wherever and however she is right now. I hope she's happy and has had a happy life all these years. Okay, now we are adding the decorations on these socks so we can make them a little bit more unique and different, just like the kids are. So I added star glitter to the purple one, and some turquoise, I don't know what you call it, hairy, it's almost hairy kind of looking glitter that I stuck to the other one. And this one I am adding a little bit more paint so I can get a design going on here. So I painted his little toesies and the heel. And now I'm going to add some yellow dots. Because, I mean, what's mismatched socks without some with dots? Wow, that rhymed, didn't it? I didn't even mean to do that. I should have just pretended that I was clever and did that on purpose. But no, I can't do that. So I'm going to get all of these cute little dots on here. And we're getting there. Wow, it seems like there is so much more left. What else are you doing, Cyndi? Okay, here we go, moving on. Look, I got my first high-end mica powder. I got some color shift mica from Let's Resin, and I figured what better project to try this out in, so I'm gonna paint this little mold right here. Ooh, look at the pretty. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna do this in half blue, and the other one said it was called chartreuse, but it definitely looks more yellow than a greeny yellow. So I'm gonna just get this all painted up on here. I want to make sure I highlight all of the different things that are part of World Down Syndrome Day and just Down Syndrome awareness, because I figured this would be the perfect thing for me or somebody else to carry in their keys or their backpack. And as soon as anybody that knows anything about Down syndrome would know exactly what this is for without it even having any wording or a sign on it. I did consider doing that, but I don't have a Cricut, and my printer is toast, and plus it's such a tiny little thing that I wanted to make sure that the socks and the ribbon were highlighted. I figured I didn't need the words to convey what it is. So I'm just going to clean up the extra that I flipped all over the mold so I can get the yellow into the mold. And I'm cleaning, and I'm being so careful and so meticulous. And it's looking good. Look at, I'm doing so good. And then, tragedy. Why? I should have stopped before that last wipe. But no. So I'm going to go in there and carefully try and paint the line back. And then I have to show you, look, it came out of the oven. The ribbon came out of the oven. It survived. It looks like an actual ribbon. Woohoo! Okay, now we'll get back to the mold. But I had to show that. So now I'm going to carefully paint this. It's called chartreuse. I don't know how they call it that, because look at that. It's a bright yellow. But I'm being very careful. I didn't want to paint too much of the yellow over the blue. I didn't want there to be a green line going down the back, because that's not part of the color combination, is it? So I'm going to grab my craft brand, I think that's the brand, UV resin. And now I'm going to remind you with the algorithm mandate to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And now I'm going to fill this with the UV resin. I am trying to get every last drop out of this bottle. There is probably 3 more drips after this filling. I squeezed this to an inch of its life. And yes, I know I should be wearing gloves. I know. I ran out of them and forgot to tell my husband to get me some more from his work. So we are being just as careful as possible. I am very lucky so far. Nothing, no reaction to any resin, but I really don't want to try and push the point, so I got more gloves now. Trust me, because the last thing I need is for me to have some sort of health thing because of all of this. So I got this out of my lamp, and we're going to put down just a little bit more so I can get the socks and the ribbon glued in so it doesn't float up through the top. I don't want to do all of this hard work on these cute little guys just to have them ruined in the end. So I'm just going to make sure I get a really good thin base layer on here. And I don't know why this is so slow, but you got to make sure you get everything so you don't get it all weird and warpy, and got to make sure we tease up all those bubbles. And I want to make this as good as possible. I want to make sure I make Allison and Ben proud, because I am pretty sure that they are watching all of these, and if they are, hi Allison, hi Ben, thank you so much for doing this. I really enjoyed doing this. So now I'm just going to fiddle around with all of these little socks and make sure that they are as perfect as possible and highlighted, and just make sure you can see all of the differences, and the whole point that they are mismatched. So I'm going to do a quick blast with my handheld torch just to make sure that they don't move while I transport this over to my bigger lamp. And now I'm going to do the final, or so I thought, final layer. So I'm going to get this all poured in here and make sure I get around the little nub nice and well, but make sure it's not covered, and tease out all of the bubbles and just try and get this as even and level as possible. My desk isn't very level, which I really need to sort out. It's okay when you're doing regular crafting, but anything that is runny isn't. So then
I had to sand it.
I take it out of the lamp, and there is a massive hair right smack dab in the middle of the front. I have no idea how that was possible, but it was there. So I decided, okay, well, after I demolded this, it wasn't as opaque and really the colors popping on the back, so I figured since I had to sand this guy anyway, we'll just mix up a little bit of the color into some UV resin. But first I wanted to do like a little bit of a dam and cure that so I didn't have all of the yellow flow over the blue part. And so I'm just gonna get this on here, and I'm actually kind of glad I decided to do this. I think it looks so much better, and of course I found another hair, but I'm just gonna get this on here. Painfully slow, but it's getting there. I promise we're not much longer. I didn't make you watch all of the sanding that I had to do over and over again, because every time I thought I got it perfectly smooth, I'd stick it under my lamp, and literally, it was seconds. It was seconds. I have no idea how. But more dust bunnies kept finding their way. I'm pretty sure that all the dust in my house is all the dead people that I've wronged somehow coming back to haunt me. You know, ash to ashes, dust to dust. Well, I've got all their dust, and it all finds its way into my resin, no matter what I do. Always. So, here's yet another top coat. And then I was smart enough, I remembered, no, put it on the shelf rather than try and grab it and put it on the shelf. That's so much smarter, isn't it? And I'm trying very, very carefully not to have it go down into the hole. Spoiler alert, I didn't succeed. I had to break out the drill, but I don't make you watch that either. So I'm going to get the bubbles off of this, and I propped it up on a little cup because it decided to start pouring off the side. Because my molds are not the greatest, but I get there. I didn't make you watch all of the sanding that I had to do because it poured off the side and proceeded to stick to that cup. So I had to sand the back again and redo it, but I made this cute little tassel. I found a tutorial on taking just one little thing of embroidery thread, and you can make a whole tassel out of that. Who knew? So here's the glamour shots, just showing you a little bit closer up and in better light so you can see just how darn cute these little socks are. And I want to thank you all again for joining me for World Down Syndrome Day. And I want to remind you all, don't forget to check out the playlist below. Make sure you check out everybody's wonderful video. Thank you. Have a nice day.